Robert Hamer is the FBI special agent who caught Todd Calvin right in the act.
Joining us from San Diego is the father of an active duty Marine and a former Marine himself, Bob Hamer. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Hamer. Thanks for your service and your son's service, by the way.
Bob Hamer took the sample and basically told his contact that he needed to think on it.
It had all the elements of a thriller crime movie. An undercover federal agent gains the trust of a dark, mysterious group, then springs the trap in a Southern California paradise. But the FBI says it was all too real.
Hi there, I'm Bob Hamer. I spent 4 years on active duty in the Marine Corps and 26 years in the FBI. Many of those years in the FBI were spent undercover, in assignments lasting anywhere from a few days to more than 3 years. I successfully posed as a contract killer, a fence, a degenerate racetrack gambler, an international arms trafficker, a drug dealer, a pedophile, and a white-collar criminal. I'd love to share some of those stories with your group.
Well, Robert spent 3 years. Robert spent 3 years infiltrating the Man-Boy Love Association. If you don't believe a grown man would join an organization in hopes of having sex with young boys, listen to this.
What's your age of preference? 9 to 13, 9 to 14. Oh, okay. Boys. Young boys. I mean, yeah.
These are actual FBI recordings of an adult male talking about seducing young boys. Special Agent Robert Hamer went undercover and became a member of NAMBLA, the North American Man-Boy Love Association.
I have targeted some pretty tough organizations, the Mafia, the Mexican Mafia. I worked black street gangs in Los Angeles for 5 years. This was clearly the most difficult assignment that I ever undertook.
It cost just $35 for Hamer to sign up. He worked hard to gain the trust of their most influential leaders.
I was actually surprised when in the summer of 2003, I received an invitation to attend the 2003 conference in New York City.
In private meetings, NAMBLA members proudly shared their stories.
One of the members admitted to sexually assaulting 60 to 70 boys and grooming over 200.
After spending 3 years infiltrating the organization, Agent Hamer and the FBI were ready to make their move. They set up a fake boat trip to Mexico, promising sex with young boys.
Would you be interested in going on a vacation? We have a place in Mexico. You tell them what your desire is. If you're interested, they hook you up with a boy that will accommodate you.
Eager to participate, the men began calling Agent Hamer and signing up for the trip.
Good evening, Robert. Both Richard and I would like to join you on the Johnny Rocket fishing trip.
This never-before-seen on television FBI surveillance video captured 3 child predators eager to sort out details of the trip.
Is that something that can be done, trading around? People or others? In other words, if someone wanted my kid and I wasn't wanting to share, then I can say no. Right. I forgot to say that before, but I want someone who's willing to shave my back.
I read the article. Brazil is wide open. I mean, they have a lot of street kids. There's so much poverty that it's like $20. You get killed, no problem, and they look the other way.
So what happened to those men?
We arrested 8. All 8 were convicted. Sentences range from 2 years to 30 years. And all of them have supervised release. Some 12 years. Some of them received a lifetime supervised release.
Lifetime supervised release. What does that mean? You're still out on the streets, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's how you...
Joining us from San Diego is the father of an active duty Marine and a former Marine himself, Bob Hamer. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Hamer. Thanks for your service and your son's service, by the way. So what do you think when you hear the Admiral Mullen saying he's not sure, he can't guarantee that active duty, people who are putting their lives on the line overseas, Iraq, Afghanistan, may not be paid. Meanwhile, they're playing around in Washington. They can't get their act together.
Well, I'm certainly encouraged by the news I've heard on your show already this morning that maybe there is a deal in the works, but I certainly understand the concern of these servicemen and women. Look, I spent 26 years in the FBI, many of those years undercover. I know what it's like to be on that high wire alone without a net.
Yeah.
I've faced danger. These men are out there risking their lives for us, and now they have to remain focused on what they're doing, and they can't be worried about their families back home. We just left our son. We were 2 weeks with him. He recently returned from his latest overseas assignment. 4 families living across the street from him, 4 of the 5 families across the street, all were deployed to combat zones. Those wives can't be worried about whether they're going to be able to have enough money to buy groceries. They have to be concerned about living the life, being a single mom, what it's like being a spouse with a husband deployed. And these people deployed that are facing the dangers, they can't be distracted by wondering whether or not their wives are going to get money, whether they're going to be able to put groceries on the table.
So Mr. Hamer, several...
These supernotes are first detected in an undercover FBI operation known as Smoking Dragon, initially set up to seize and track contraband cigarettes.
The main thing we were looking at when this case first began was counterfeit cigarettes. They were counterfeiting Marlboros over in China and North Korea, shipping them here into the United States, and they were being filtered down into the retail markets. There was actually more money in counterfeit cigarettes than there were in heroin and cocaine.
2 years in, the operation scope grows well beyond contraband cigarettes.
It expanded into ecstasy and crystal meth. It expanded into stolen cars. Soon they were bringing other counterfeit goods over, including Viagra, postage stamps, clothing. Eventually, we were dealing with about 5 different criminal cells under this Asian criminal syndicate.
I was the undercover agent in the LA Mafia family trial. I've had a contract put out on my life. I've been shot at. I've shot people. I was the undercover agent when we took down the #2 guy in the Mexican Mafia. If you ever saw American Me, Edward almost played Robert Salas. I was the undercover agent. We took out Salas. I worked gangs in South Central Los Angeles for 5 years. I bought drugs from gang members, and I don't know if you can see all the way in the back, but I'm white, and I'm buying from Crip and Blood members. NAMBLA is the most paranoid organization I have ever been around. I mean, they've got nothing. I mean, the LCN, the Mafia, the Chinese, the Asian Mafia groups that I worked, the Russian organized crime groups that I worked. NAMBLA is the most paranoid group that I've ever met. They sent me this invitation. I get the communication. It says, we will meet at Grand Central Station in the lower concourse. Once you get there, we'll tell you where our next meeting is going to be. We won't publish it in advance because we're fearful that law enforcement is going to set up on these meetings and arrest everyone when we go to the meetings. So now I go back to Grand Central Station, New York City. I'm not really sure what I'm looking for. I'm assuming, I don't have a lot of experience in child exploitation cases, but I'm assuming I know what a pedophile looks like. I mean, they've got long stringy hair, they wear black horn-rimmed glasses, they've got a trench coat, and they hang out at public restrooms and they kind of flash it at you. So I assumed that I was going to be able to, pick these guys out.